Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome once again to another episode of The Cider Drinker. And on today's episode we're going back to Ludlow in Shropshire, to the Mahorall Farm Cider Company to try out their other bottled cider that they do, which so happens to be their medium sparkling variety. Now, about 5 reviews ago, I reviewed their dry sparkling cider and gave it a very respectable 7 out of 10. It wasn't quite up there with the other real ciders that I've tried, but overall still a really decent cider. Will the medium sparkling one be the same? Well, there's only one way to find out, is there? But before I do that, as per usual, let me just give you some details on Mahorall Farm Medium Sparkling. Mahorall Medium Farm Cider comes in 500ml bottles, which you can get off their website or from certain specialist cider retailers as well. The alcohol percentage is 6% in volume, and it's also, as the front of the bottle suggests, a medium sparkling cider. The price you can get off the Mahorall website is £2 per bottle, so that's pretty damn cheap for a real cider that you can only get off of the website, so yeah, pretty damn cheap. There we are. Right, well, the bottle looks pretty much exactly the same as the dry variety, and as I said in the dry review, the only way you can differentiate between the two is by looking at the cap. The medium one has a gold one, whereas the dry one had a red cap, and the only other way to differentiate is that actually says medium sparkling on the front. The other difference is that whereas the dry sparkling was 5.5% in volume, this one is slightly stronger at 6%, so they obviously do it slightly differently to the dry one to give it a slightly higher strength. So will that affect the taste? Well, we will find out. There is, as always, a bit of bump on the back, so I'll just read that out. It's probably going to be the same as the dry cider, but there we go. Mahorall Farm Cider is made on the small year, you've heard that before. The fresh apple juice is fermented by naturally occurring wild yeast in order to preserve the true taste of farm cider. I think you've heard that as well. The cider is then allowed to mature with no artificial additives, so each cider has a unique taste that is entirely dependent on the wild yeasts. And, just like the dry cider, this one contains no added sulfites. In other words, there's nothing there to preserve the freshness or anything, so the sooner you actually drink it, the better. Now, I've obviously had this sitting in the fridge for a little while, but I still think it will be good to go. I have actually noticed there's something on the inside of this bottle. That's really strange. There's a bit of a black thing on the top there. No idea what that is. I hope it's not mould. Better not be mould, I'm telling you that. Nope, still well in date, so, oh well, let's crack this open and see what it tastes like then. Probably avoid the black spot anyway, just in case. Oh, there we go. Because it is sparkling, just a little bit of carbonisation there. Right, let's see. Oh, I can smell it already. You must excuse me if I sound a bit bunged up. I've actually just got off the back end of a cold, but I'm still a bit bunged up. But my old schnozzle still works, so let's see what it smells like. That smells kind of like the dry one, but there is a definite kind of hint of sweetness to it as well, so yeah, it's good that you can actually differentiate between the two ciders in smell too. The dry one, well, obviously smelled a lot drier, but yeah. This one still smells really crisp and light. But yeah, it just has that little added bit of sweetness to it as well, which helps to differentiate between the two of them. Right, pouring it into the glass. Now, because there's no sulfites, and there's doesn't look like there's any sediment either, which there isn't, I'm still going to pour it slowly anyway, because, you know, ciders like this deserve to be poured slowly. And hey, no glug. That's a first. I'm usually glugging all over the place. There we go. Now you probably already saw what this thing looks like in the bottle, but I shall show you once again in the glass once I've poured it all out. I've got to say, it's been an absolute scorcher today, 29 degrees, so this one's going to be well worth it. There we go, a very dark coloured cider. I'd go so far as to say like amber coloured, definitely, but it's pretty clear, as you can see. I can see you guys through it, don't know if you can see me, and very, very fine bubbles coming off of it too, so just very lightly sparkling. I do like that in a cider. Right, the smell in the glass. Oh, a real apple aroma coming off of this. But it's a pretty sweet one too. I mean, obviously it is a medium cider, so I wasn't expecting the astringency of the dry cider to come off of this, so That smells very pleasant. So I'm just going to go and dive right into this. So cheers guys, bottoms up. Oh, that's nice. Oh, that is very pleasant. Wow. It's got a slight oakiness to it, right at the end of it. But, oh, it's so smooth. It's such a smooth drink. The moment it hits your mouth, it's almost like you're just swallowing, not very much treacle, because it's not thick, but it's just got a real smooth consistency to it. That's very pleasant. Going to go in for a second try. Yes, that is really pleasant. It actually tastes slightly better. I've had this in the bottom of my fridge where it's not quite as cold, so it's not as chilled as the other ciders that I've had. And to be honest, that's actually helped it out a lot. I'd imagine you lose kind of some of the flavour if you chill it to like below 0 temperatures and everything, but wow, this is a really, really pleasant cider. It's pretty sweet, but there is a kind of a sharpness to it as well, so to be honest, the medium kind of does its job really. You know, it's got that kind of sharpness and it's got that kind of sweetness, and at the end of it, you've got the oaky characteristics coming out of it. So it's obviously been probably matured in oak vats. I'm not sure. It might be just the kind of apples that they've used, but either way, this is very, very nice. It doesn't taste strong, and it's very full-bodied too. Very full-bodied, smooth, but it's clean as well. It's a very, very easy to drink cider. Wow, that is very pleasant. If I was to buy anything from the Mahorall Farm company again, I'd actually be more inclined to go for their medium variety. Not saying that their dry one was bad, because it wasn't. It was a very pleasant cider, but this one is just ever so slightly better. I almost got kind of hints of toffee coming off of it as well. That was very pleasant. There's just the initial first kick that you get from it, just had kind of like a toffee undertone to it, which is just a very, very pleasant flavour to have. But yeah, overall, Mahorall Farm have done a really good job again with this one. You really, seriously, this is for £2 as well. You know, you expect to pay upwards of like £2.89 or something for like a real cider, but for £2, that's bloody cheap for a 500ml bottle of real cider. So I give them credit for that too. Wow. Oh, I can tell this this glass isn't going to last me long at all. Just an overall very, very pleasant cider. It's not overpowering you with all of its flavours. They're just there to enjoy, and they're not saying, oh, here I am, you know, and just trying to knock you out with their tastes. It's all been kind of mellowed down to give a really, really nice taste sensation in your mouth. Now, what I would suggest is the sooner that you do drink this, the better, because obviously it doesn't have any added sulphites to preserve the freshness, so the longer you leave it, the worse it's probably going to taste. So I'd suggest drinking it within the first, I don't know, between the first 1 and 3 weeks that you get it from. I actually left this out, left this a little longer. It's probably been in my fridge for about 4 or 5 weeks, but it still tastes very, very nice, very pleasant. But obviously, like I said, the longer that you leave it, it's probably going to lose some of its taste and some of its flavour. So if you do buy Mahorall Farm ciders, just make sure that you drink it sooner rather than later. But having said that, Mahorall Farm Medium Sparkling Cider gets an 8 out of 10 from me. Gets a little mark up from me because, to be honest, I think this tastes just ever so slightly better than the dry variety. Although, to be honest, I'd be more than happy to get the dry variety too. I'm just going to get a final taste as well. Oh, yes, that is... that is a wonderful little cider, that. I am definitely going to be enjoying this glass. It's not going to last long, so just expect to see this go in the next couple of minutes for sure. Well, that was a bit of a quickie cider review for you guys this time, but I hope you enjoyed it. I know I certainly have, and I will be back once again another time for another delicious and tasty cider. But until then, Mahorall Farm Cider definitely gets another thumbs up from me. They're doing a cracking job there. How rude of my camera to cut me off again. Yeah, you can get their ciders off their website. Oh, excuse me, cough. It's farmcider.co.uk, their website, and like I say, you can only get the 2 varieties off their website, but they're very, very well worth it. Definitely give them a go. So, until then, I'm just going to sit back and enjoy this Mahorall Farm Medium Sparkling. Until next time, guys, take care.